Kirsten Liebelt. How are you? Happy Tuesday. Happy September. OMG, it's September. Ah, that means like fall is already here, and I'm not even joking. It's like Minnesota knows the calendar. It watches the calendar. I know it does. We are immediately going down into the 60s this week. Now, I know it won't stay there, blah, blah, blah. But it's almost like it just knows. And you're like, come on, really? We actually see, like, I can look out my window right now and I can see a couple of leaves already changing. It started last week and I'm like, oh, right, here we go. Okay. I hope you guys had like the best Labor Day weekend ever. I hope you had so much fun. We did all of the fun family things on the Minnesota State Fair and all the goodies. Today we are going to talk specifically. Here we go. Here's the title for today. Your body isn't broken. Number one. Number two, belly fat isn't punishment. It's actually communication. So your body's not broken. Your belly fat isn't punishment. It's communication. And we're going to talk about it today, all through the lens of insulin resistance. Remember, we do everything through the lens of insulin resistance. It's literally, I'm just going to be your best friend right now. Like, grab a cup of coffee. It's literally the way you can finally lose fat, is if you just change the lens in which you look at everything. It changes freaking everything. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, that's why, and then fill in the blank for a lot of things. And we'll get into that. Two things. Number one, housekeeping. For anybody who has been noticing that the glucose product has been out of stock again for a little short period of time, back in stock. So anybody who has been looking at the trio, anybody who's been looking at the total body reset, which the trio is inside of, it's sitting there waiting for you. Okay. So do not delay on that. I'm just telling you, I don't have full understanding as to what was going on, like if it's an ingredient issue, but when it's available, I do have some of you stock up like 7 at a time. I'm not even kidding you. And it's a little natural OZ. If you know what I mean, if you know, you know. Because, why? Because, so it's a capsule you take 3 times a day. And I'm not going to get into this deeply right now. Looks like this. And you take it 3 times a day, spread out. And it brings down sugars, insulin, sugar cravings, and appetite. That sounds a little OZ to me. Okay. Secondly, the next challenge is starting this next Monday. And I know that that's very close to the last one that we just did in August. But the reason why is because August was late because I was traveling. So you guys, like right now at the beginning of the school year, at the beginning of fall changing, you get a free 5-day challenge inside the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Always make sure you give your email to get in. No bots allowed. And we're over like 6,000 women in there now. And every month we do a free challenge so that I can teach you about insulin resistance, ingredient trade outs, pantry and refrigerator, targeted supplementation, recipe. Like, we do it all. And we do it once a month because this is the track for you to be able to actually go on and get results. If you will grasp the concept of the slight edge, the compound effect. These are books, by the way. If you will grasp the understanding that if you will string together enough little successes month after month, you're going to get this big, great success. So like there's somebody in there. This is her 17th challenge in a row because she gave herself permission for the journey. Do you understand what this means? Good morning, Terry. Good to see you. Good morning, Patty. Good morning, Magda. The gang is all here. Yay, I'm so excited. I hope you guys had a really good weekend. So this is literally how you get success. I mean, and of course, all of my success people are sitting right here. Because you know what? Listen, while somebody else is binging on Netflix, while somebody else is not taking care of themselves or becoming their own advocate, you are. Do you understand how you need to give yourself credit and you need to celebrate your wins? Sometimes, like for Terry at one point, it was she tucked in her blouse for the first time. She has now lost 49 pounds and she weighs less than she did 30 years ago. What do you want your story to be? I don't know. I don't know what it is. We deal with fatty liver on this one. Magda, she has had an MRI that went from bad to a mild fatty liver over the last year. She's lost, you guys listen to this just before you scroll, okay? pause for just a second and understand, because we're going to talk about the belly today. We're going to talk about, this is very interesting, actually, some of this information I've never talked about before, okay? But it has to do with your belly fat and how it is visceral fat, right? But we're going to talk about that. But listen, so because she actually lost visceral fat, her fatty liver went from bad to mild. Because of that, she's losing it from within. Can you understand that concept? Like from within, she's getting rid of her belly fat. So what did that do to her outside body? She lost 6 inches from under her bra, 5 from her waist, 3 from her hips. Now, this is over the course of a year, but she was using the total body reset. We'll talk about that later. But my point being that can you understand that literally you're doing something for your health? You're doing something. There's no Band-Aids. I don't want to teach you Band-Aids. If I teach you Band-Aids, you're going to be like, oh, that was just another thing. That's just another thingamajig. No, like these are products that I've sourced. I used them myself. I got my testimony. I started to get local testimonies. I'm like, OMG. Then I started to go online, and I like beefed up my courage to do this so that I can now get your testimonies, which I'm so excited. Hello from New York. That's terrific. Another New Yorker, Magda. Another New Yorker. Here we go. Oh, MJ. So get this. So she says, Chris says she wants to be a success story too. Woohoo! Yes, yes, yes. I just welcome you. Come on in, because I will take you on the journey. I am here. I'm not going anywhere. I am here for you, right? So MJ says, I've been following you for 2 months. This is my permission month, and I have joined the challenge group. Woohoo! Yes, 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 yes. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, Marie, good morning. Joan, good morning. You guys, this is fun. Okay, so let's get into this whole belly fat thing. So those are my 2 announcements. The glucose product is back in stock. Do not delay. If you've been thinking about the trio or the total body reset, jump. Because I don't know what the issue is. I don't know why, because it came back in stock for a short period of time at the beginning of August. So I don't have answers for you. But the second thing is that the challenge starts on Monday. So get ready. September, here we come. We're going to crush before Thanksgiving and candy season hits, before it all comes like feeling overwhelming. We're going to do that. Okay, so here we go. Woohoo! Really, really, really love this conversation today. So why your belly fat isn't about calories. You guys, listen up for this one today. It's not about calories. It's about hidden signals that nobody's really, really talking about, okay? So what if I told you that your belly fat is less about food quantity and it's more about hidden signals that your body is sending, signals that nobody's teaching women over 40 how to recognize, okay? So instead of shaming yourself, understand that your belly fat is literally a biological messenger. It's telling you something. It's not random. It's not just, oh, I'm getting older, random belly fat. It's your body's way of saying insulin is stuck on high alert. This is why that glucose product is so popular, because it's not just helping with sugars, it's also helping with insulin. And those are 2 different things. Insulin is your hormone that's being released by your pancreas, and sugar in your blood is sugar in your blood. A1C is over here in your blood. Insulin is the hormone that they're not testing, that they should have been testing years and decades ago, and they weren't testing. But when you have high insulin and it's on alert, you're getting that belly fat, and you're like, where did this come from? What is happening to me? Okay. And you can be skinny and have a belly. Okay. So belly fat, get this now. This is so interesting. I kind of didn't understand this at the very beginning of like researching this and studying this. Belly fat is an organ in itself. Track with me. It's producing hormones that can worsen insulin resistance, and nobody talks about it this way. Nobody talks about it this way. Now, I did want to know, hold on. Here's what makes it act like an organ. Number 1, it secretes hormones. Belly fat produces leptin, which is that controls your hunger signals. Resistin, have to say my words properly this morning. New week, right? New week, new vocabulary. Resistin, linked to insulin resistance, and adiponectin. which regulates your metabolism. Okay, so I'm just your girlfriend. I'm not a doctor. Okay, I don't have to know how to say everything perfectly. These hormones don't just sit there, they travel in your bloodstream, talking to your brain, your liver, and your muscles. Okay, it's all connected. I don't know how else to say it more strongly. Medicine wants to silo all of your issues and send you to a different doctor for every symptom so that you can get a different script for every symptom and silo you. And then nobody's talking to each other. This is all connected. This isn't disconnection. And I think there's something inside of us as women. We knew it all along. This is me. I think we're super intuitive. And I think that we were intuitive back when we were adolescents and we were getting our cycle. And we were paying attention to every cramp and every bloat and how our jeans didn't fit. And we were really uncomfortable and maybe we didn't ask questions. And we were really paying attention to our bodies because it was a little stunning, right? Or like, what the heck is going on? So because of that, we actually were paying attention. And somewhere in life, we stopped paying attention to our own body. Because maybe we were paying attention to having babies and so now it's paying attention to their body. Maybe we were paying attention to like everybody else's schedule and everybody else's needs, etc. And it flows then right into having our kids get older and leaving into, then we're paying attention to an elderly parent. Like we have to come back. I want to say to you, like, come back. Let's pay attention to our own bodies again, right? Super important. So these hormones don't just sit there. They travel in your bloodstream and they are talking to your brain, your liver, and your muscles. So this visceral fat that acts like an organ, it pumps out inflammatory chemicals. Visceral fat releases cytokines that cause low-grade chronic inflammation. Do you walk around feeling like you are just so freaking inflamed and you're like, what the heck? I'm actually convinced, and I can't prove it at all. I can only have the memory of all of the decades of my mother's from her 50s and all of her arthritis and her because I don't even know. And she had hip surgeries, replacements and knee replacement and whatever, but all of this and her carb addiction. And then she lost a kidney and then they told her to be afraid of protein. And so then she became even more of a carbaholic. And then she, who didn't have any type 2 in her family, became type 2 and then ended up in dementia. I believe that is all connected. So let's go all the way back to her 50s where her inflammation was so high. She ended up having hip replacements, knee replacement. She started living on Tylenol. Okay. I believe this is all connected. And then insulin resistance of the brain is what was her ending 5 years. Okay. So it pumps out inflammatory chemicals. So it's releasing, and that inflammation feeds back into your insulin resistance. So it's kind of like doing this. It's a river, right? Making belly fat even harder to lose. And I don't like it either, that's the last place we lose. I don't like it either, that's the one place that we have to figure out how to cover up. Well, maybe we're losing it in between our knees and we're like, listen, I could have covered up my knees. It wasn't my knees that I was having a hard time finding the right size for. I don't like it either. But I'm just telling you, like, you have to turn your ship all the way around. Don't go part way and stop. Don't do that this time. That's a part of your permission. Give yourself permission for the whole journey. Okay? All right. And then number 3 is it communicates with your immune system. Okay? Belly fat recruits immune cells that actually live inside the fat tissue, further increasing the inflammation. That's why excess visceral fat is tied to higher risks of fatty liver disease, diabetes, heart disease. It's not the steak, people. They made you think for a very long time. I'm sorry, Facebook, if that like made it the goofy sound, whatever. They've made you afraid of animal products for something that they have literally nothing to do with. You guys, the trunk of the tree, it's not called beef. The trunk of the tree is not called egg yolks. The trunk of the tree is called insulin resistance. And how do you get insulin resistance? You spike your sugars, you release insulin, Pretty soon, you have to release more and more and more and more and more to grab that and bring it into your cell. And after a while, your cell goes, and we're done. And it becomes resistant to the insulin and the fuel that it's trying to be given. Resistant to insulin, resistance. Okay. And in the meantime, what's happening is all that extra fuel is getting laid down inside of your liver, your pancreas, around your organs, your intestines, visceral fat. And that insulin is inflammation. It's going up, 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 up. That's what's happening. And so therefore, that's why excess visceral fat is tied to risks of fatty liver disease, diabetes, and heart disease. It's not the egg. It's not the steak. They didn't raise your insulin, but just a smidge. Okay. Why this matters for women with insulin resistance? It's a really big question, right? So remember now, God didn't make bad food, and we are not, we're not just living in deprivation land. We're trying to back our way out of insulin resistance land. Okay. We entered the land and now we're like, hold on. I'm just going to back my way out of this land so that we can become more metabolically flexible and go back to where we were. Okay. as much as we can, as best we can. Okay. So that's what we're doing. So in the meantime, I do teach, like when it comes to food, sugar, grain, and legume free. That's another conversation, but that is what I teach in the challenge next week. But having said that, we're trying to back out, okay? Now, belly fat is not dead weight. It's active and it is bossy. Bossy belly fat. Here we go. Constantly sending signals that keep insulin high and your fat locked in. Locked in. So it's like your body's like, and not giving it up, keeping that belly fat, keeping the fat, not giving it up. That's what's happening, right? You've got to get your insulin down. You have to get your insulin down. Insulin liver, insulin liver, insulin liver. This is literally, I'm a broken freaking record, but the results show you over and over and over again that this is the right conversation to have for somebody who's insulin resistant. If somebody has created a program for you that is not for somebody who's insulin resistant, it may work for a while, but it won't be lasting, sustainable results because you got to get out of the land. Get out of the land, and then you can do whatever you want to do, right? Hold on. I got to see here. I know I'm missing comments, so hold on. Oh, good morning, Chris. Hold on. Here we go. Oh, Debbie, cortisol too? Sid, yes. It can be cortisol too. Cindy, good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, I knew somebody was here. I knew it. I could feel it. So, yeah, because high insulin and high cortisol, you can have an insulin and a cortisol belly, and oftentimes they go together. I kind of think about, because I'm not a science person, right? So I'm just an in my own head person, somebody who's just walked the journey. So I'm super layman about everything, but I consider like insulin and cortisol like sister hormones. Like usually they're happening at the same time because the whole cycle of being stressed out and having high insulin, and then you're eating more carbs, and then you're not sleeping at night, and then you're raising your insulin resistance more, and it's all like this. We're in this cycle. That's kind of how that goes. Okay, so but if your bossy, active belly fat, which is like emitting hormones and inflammation, if it is sending all of these signals, this is why eat less, move more doesn't work. And we're like, but come on, my insurance company had posters in the waiting room of the doctor's office. All I had to do was eat less, move more. Do you know that I just saw, you guys, this is a total side note. Who was the interviewer? Saw a reel this morning. Do not remember who the interviewer was, but it was somebody who was well known. It'll have to come to me. But she was interviewing a doctor, and the doctor, female doctor, and she said she was shocked when she became a doctor and she was starting to help women in their 40s. And she had this one case where this woman was telling her all of her ails or all of her whatever. And the other, when she got done with this and she was like questioning how to help this woman, another doctor, and I don't know if it was a man, so I'm not going to put that out there because I don't know. I don't know if it was a male or female, said, oh, you just encountered a WW. I mean, don't put that in her chart, but she's a WW. And she goes, well, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Oh, she's just a whiny woman. You guys, do you understand? Like sometimes we come with all of the, we're like, we can tell something's not right. And I know this doesn't happen everywhere, so I'm not meaning to blanket. But I think collectively, I've talked to enough of you to know you've had these experiences where you are treated like a WW. Like, okay, now what's going on? Honey, you just need to eat less and move more. You're just not tracking your food well enough. You're just not paying attention. You must be binging at night or whatever it is. And you're like, no, seriously, like I can tell something's not right. Well, this is why eat less, move more doesn't work. You have to literally calm the organ, the belly fat. You need to calm that visceral fat by lowering your insulin, which is lowering your insulin and supporting your liver and your gut. Okay. This is how you're going to start to reduce that inflammation. All right. So here we go. Let me give you some practical, Sid says OMG. I'm not sure for what, but there's a lot to say OMG for. I'm sure it was the lady, right? The WW. I feel like we've experienced this. My experience, my personal experience was I had shoulder surgery when I turned 50. It froze. They didn't know it froze. I kept saying it was excruciatingly painful and they kept dismissing me. And they listened to me and they're like, oh, it froze. What? That's really like, we didn't see that one coming. So they're like, okay, well, we're going to go back in again. Cause that's what we do. We don't just like break up the scar tissue. We go back in and fix it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I had to go back in for another pre-physical, like for my insurance company. This is 10 years ago. And so I go back in and I'm like, female doctor. And I go, darndest thing. I said, ever since I had surgery in January, it's June now. Ever since I had surgery in January, I haven't had a cycle. Like it literally disappeared on me. How is that connected to the surgery? Like what happened? I was like, honestly, just curious. I was just being like, this is so bizarre. I didn't even have an upset cycle of any kind before I went into surgery. Like life was normal for me. And she literally shrugged it off so fast. That has literally nothing to do with your surgery. But I knew inside of me it did. And guess what? I'm 60. I never had a cycle again. I just knew, don't you know things inside of you? Trust your instincts, okay? Like, don't you just know? And it was a female doctor. She could not have dismissed me faster. That was the first time that I went, oh, I'm doing this on my own. Oh, I'm so going to do my own research of whatever it is in my world. I'm so going to take this alternate path because I'm now like, that was really kind of like shocking to me a little bit. I mean, it wasn't traumatic or anything like that, but I was just like, not even a conversation, super curious. Okay, so here we go. So there are so many pieces of where this information has come from, and I'm going to give you some like practical answers as to how you can help your body function. Okay, so like the Endocrine Society, medical tests, peer-reviewed studies. Like I've got a whole list of things where this information is coming from. Obesity and metabolism research, tons of different like 2006 study, 2001, 2003. All of these things talking about how visceral fat is actually, it acts like an organ and it is inside your liver and your pancreas and it's outside of your organs and it's wrapping around your intestines. And guess what? It's all right here. It's all in that belly area protruding out. That's why, again, let's go back to when Magda was using the total body reset. We'll go through those in a little bit. When she was doing that over the last year, because she was losing it internally, marked by an MRI, marked by a real MRI that said bad to mild fatty liver. So we know it was working, right? We know it was doing its job. Okay, but she didn't do it for 2 weeks and give up. She didn't do it for 6 weeks and stop. She gave herself permission for the entire last year. And now I know she has new goals. She has more goals than just that. But because of that, 6 inches from under her bra, 5 from her waist, 3 from her hips, because it's not a cabbage soup diet. She's not just losing water weight. She's not just losing only inflammation in terms of like, you know how it is when you start like a new program and you get off of all of the processed food and you immediately drop. Like my daughter did that when she was 8 months pregnant with her second son and she had gallstones, and we researched. And so she immediately went keto and stopped all processed foods. The inflammation just within 2 weeks went through her body, just gone from her entire body. She ended up never having surgery, never had her gallbladder removed, delivered him like a champ, and everything was great. Okay. So that's what happened. So I'm not talking about any of that. None of that stuff that I know it makes us feel good in the minute. I get it. Like, who doesn't want to be like, I lost 10 pounds last week, like we did in high school? No, she literally changed her status of visceral fat in her liver, marked by an MRI. That's why her outside changed. Okay, so I hope you're tracking with that, right? So there's lots and lots of studies, etc. But these are some of the things that I talk about a lot. Number one, swapping out your foods. We talk about this in the challenge. I'm Italian. I had to learn how to eat sugar, grain, and legume free. Some people are like, you're just being restrictive and that's not sustainable. BS. What wasn't sustainable is what my dad did, and then he was dead at 63. Obviously, that wasn't sustainable because he died. And he had a lazy Susan full of meds. Like, my whole life was surrounded by type 2 and obesity in my Italian family. I can tell you all the people it wasn't sustainable for. So don't listen to all that blah, blah, blah noise. Don't do that. Like, you have to when you're turning around your body, like Magda turned around her body, aren't you happy? Don't you sleep a little better at night? Like, this is real stuff, right? So I cut sugar, grain, seed oils. I teach you how to do all this stuff. Add cruciferous vegetables, like for your liver, etc. Natural detox enzymes. Now, some people don't even do that because some people are carnivore, and that's okay too. I'm not carnivore, but I understand the concept for sure. Like, I really do I actually studied a little bit. You can add lemon water in the morning. Like, just get something going for your liver, because what are the two things that are holding you back from burning fat? If you've been on my content for any length of time, insulin and liver, high insulin and liver. Insulin and liver. Like, don't forget that, right? Fix your insulin and your liver, and you're going to get different results. Your body will literally produce you different results. Your body will literally serve you different results. But you have to get the engine working differently, right? So warm lemon water in the morning, it signals digestion, bile flow, liver function. And I always say, especially for those of you that have had your gallbladder removed, like, help a liver out. Because the gallbladder's gone, and now your liver, if your liver is sluggish, fat loss is like in the toilet. It's not going to happen. It doesn't happen. And then obviously you can supplement. I'll share that in just a second here. But a leaky, inflamed gut drives insulin resistance and belly storage. And a leaky gut that is inflamed is driving insulin resistance and belly fat storage. So sometimes people will do apple cider vinegar before meals. They'll chew slowly. They'll take digestive enzymes. I have digestive enzymes in my line that I still take to this day. Love them. If you need amazing digestive enzymes, I'm your girl. I have them. I use them all the time. And then, of course, about the gut primer that I talk about. But I will tell you that it is so helpful when you understand why you are doing what you are doing. If you do not understand why you are doing what you are doing, you will not continue. At some point, you'll be like, I don't even know what I'm doing this for anyway, so I'm not going to do it, right? But if you can understand what you're doing for your liver to get your liver to produce, then you will be like, you'll be on it. If you know you're trying to get your insulin down and that's why you're trading out your foods, okay, now it makes sense in my head as to why, because if I have high insulin, I can't burn fat. If I have a sluggish liver, I can't burn fat. Okay, so I'm going to stop spiking my sugars and calling on insulin so that I can actually get my insulin down so I can actually burn fat, like my switch can get turned back on. Okay, that makes sense in my brain. Like, all of a sudden, things start to click for you, okay? So belly fat is not laziness. It's not laziness. It's an overactive organ that is sending you signals. It's sending you signals. It's telling you something. So you're not broken. You just need to lower the noise so your body can finally let go of stored fat. Okay. And so there are things that change, or there are things that keep us from that. Some of them are food. That's why we do the food ingredient trade outs. Some of them are literally like obesogens. Like, I know we can't change everything overnight. I don't expect anybody to. Don't live in that land of everything is toxic, even though everything is. Don't live there mentally. Just know that, okay, I'm just going to get rid of those plastic containers, and I'm going to get some glass containers, and I'm going to stop microwaving in plastic. And some people then are like, okay, well, I'm just going to get rid of the microwave, and just take steps. Okay. Just stop using Bath and Body Works. Stop using toxic lotions on your body. It's a big organ. Skin is a big organ. Maybe use a different something, right? I'm just saying, like, pay attention to little things and they'll add up over time, right? But when it comes to targeted supplementation, and I just have so many testimonies, and I know some of you just said, I want to be the next testimony. I want to be the next one. Well, let me just show you. I'm going to show you a couple things just because, like I said, and I don't have my probiotic with me because I ate it. Why do I do that? I just do. I don't know. I can't explain myself all the time. You don't want to be inside my head. You really don't. But point being that because that glucose product is back in stock, let's just listen up for 2 seconds before you jump off, and then I'm going to be done, and I'll show back up again tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. So for anybody who is a part of, they're giving themselves permission and they actually want to take a step forward. I know that there are a lot of people that said, I see that the glucose product is out of stock. I was going to pick up the Trio. I'll come back. Perfect. Today's your day because it's back in stock. So the Trio, this is where I started and helped me to, this is all I had available to me. You guys have more now. This is all I have available to me, and fully supported me in losing my 3 sizes in my 50s. Okay. And remember, the biggest story of that part is that not that I lost the 3 sizes in my 50s after my cycle stopped, which is a big deal, but I've kept it off and I'm still moving forward. Okay. So 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients. I don't think you can see all of these. See, that's just craziness. That's just craziness. They help with insulin sensitivity. And again, that's the piece that you're wanting to deal with, is the insulin sensitivity. I'm just going to put this one here. So 3, right? I'm going to put them here so you can see them. 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients to help with insulin sensitivity. The one that just came back in stock, the glucose one, this is the natural OZ. Take it 3 times a day. Bring down your sugars, bring down your insulin, bring down your sugar cravings, bring down your appetite. Doesn't that sound familiar? Sounds familiar to me. Liver, metabolism, okay? That's what these 3 are. That's the Trio. Some people start with just the Trio. Now, I'm going to show you the total body reset because this is where, like, basically everybody on here that has all of their amazing testimonies, those that have jumped on this morning, they are doing the total body reset, but you don't have to. I'll show you one more thing. But the second piece of that puzzle then, so that's Trio. Then let's talk about the gut primer. And then I have a probiotic that's a white pixie stick. I ate it. I'm sorry. I would have to go get you another one. This is a greens powder. So remember when we were just talking about the fact that your liver, your gut and your liver. Remember we were just talking about your gut and how when your gut is inflamed and it is like leaking nutrients, etc., like you just can't, it's almost like you're swimming upstream and you just can't quite get going with the healing, the sealing of your gut, the absorption of your nutrients, the ability to actually function. Like your gut is connected to everything. Your symptoms might be indigestion, constipation, etc. But other things might be like sadness, like depression, anxiety, because your gut is it's literally your command center. So anybody can go out and buy a greens product. This is not that. So you have to understand what you're actually purchasing, okay? The gut primer is 6 different blends. It's an actual gastrointestinal tract powder. So I put this in a little bit of water every morning. I already took my glass away and I froth it up and I just drink it like a wellness shot. So 6 different blends that completely change the recalibration of your gut. And then there's a probiotic. So the total body reset is the Trio, the gut reset protocol, and the orange pixie stick. those 6 products, you have to have an imagination to see the probiotic in the white paper. Those 6 products, that's the total body reset. I'm trying to like squelch confusion because I think that I am not always so great at dissecting for you visually. So I'm trying hard, okay? So there are 6 products in the total body reset. You might want to do only these 3. The trio. Now, a lot of you, what you did in the month of August, and I'm not going to lie, this was kind of exciting. A lot of you did just these 3. The primer, the orange pixie stick, and then this liver one. So you were doing liver, 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 because half of the total body reset is for your liver. It's for your liver. Okay. So that was exciting. So you can do just the liver reset stack and you can start there. And when you do that, I don't know if you knew this or not, for those of you who purchased that in August, you started your first month of that customer campaign. Do you know what that means? That means that when you purchase 150 or more 3 months in a row on your 3rd month, you get $75 off, which is huge. Nobody else is doing that. So we do have a couple of configurations is really all I'm trying to say. And it depends on what you're looking for. So some of you might say, well, okay, I do need help with my liver, but I do also I am type 2. I do need to get my sugars down. I do need to whatever. That's when you throw that glucose product in there to help your sugars. Okay. So I really like getting to be in communication with you to help you. You don't have to do it that way. I think most people that just purchased the reset stack last month, they just went up and bought it. Nobody talked to me about it. You don't have to. But for anybody who is just remotely like, okay, I'm not really quite sure what I should grab to help my particular circumstances, don't hesitate. Make sure you reach out to me and say, I need to understand what's the liver reset stack. I think that's the one that I need. Or what was that trio thing with the natural OZ in it? And this is the product that really, this is the orange pixie stick that is helping with that visceral fat so much, you guys. This is literally a sports nutrition product that is changing the way it's orange candy. You put it on your tongue every day, just like that. I'm on a respite right now, and then I'm going to start back up again here, actually super shortly, because you go 90 days and take 30 days off. But this is changing your BMI. So if you can understand, okay, I'm actually going to now, instead of trying to put Band-Aids on, calorie deficit only, counting points, thinking that popcorn is a free food or a 1-point food, that's BS, you guys. It's spiking your sugars. It's calling on insulin. It's not serving you. Now, if you lose weight and keep it off, then praise God. Like, I'm not going to complain about that. I'm happy for you. But then go in and get your fasting insulin test done. Go in and make sure that you know whether or not you have visceral fat going on. Go make sure that other labs are good for you, okay? Just double check stuff, right? But in the meantime, make sure that you always tell me what it is that you are needing get into my messenger, my Instagram DM. I even have on my site, I'll wrap up with this. On my site, I actually have a phone number for you. Let me show you how you can text me. How does that sound? And if you guys have questions, let me know, because otherwise, like I said, I'm going to jump off. And then tomorrow I will be back at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. We do this Monday through Friday, unless it's a holiday like yesterday or I'm out of town. And we've been doing this for like a year and a half. So we're not stopping anytime soon. If you need a track to run on, if you need the opportunity to be able to actually have somebody walk journey with you. Androids are just, they're super interesting to me is all. Because I'm always learning how to run them. And I don't know why my brain, we get so stuck into whether or not we're iOS or Android. And my brain just knows one level, one layer. So when my last name, Kirsten Liebelt, and that's .com, it's on the screen for Facebook and YouTube. That is my site. And when you go to it, it looks like this. And you'll see right there, if you scroll, you'll see my before and after pictures. Like on TikTok, it matches, right? And if you go all the way to the bottom, right down here in fine print, you're going to see where there's a phone number, and you can text me there and ask me any question. Here you can go to the Facebook icon and get into the group. You can, I think you can text me there also. My IG is there. I think you can, my messenger is there. Like all of my communication is there for you. At the very top, for anybody who's like, listen, lady, I really don't want to chat with you. I'm kind of like those other people who just bought something in August and didn't talk to you. Right here at the top, Trio. Hold on, shoot. There we go. Trio, liver reset stack, total body reset. Everything I just talked to you about, it's right there. It's right there. Okay. You want some free stuff? Free stuff. Free protein blueprint, egg white protein, the egg white bread recipe, and the chocolate mousse recipe. Those are inspired by Maria Emmerich. I love her stuff, you guys. She's a genius. She's a genius. So free, free, free. These are the three that we just talked about. Free, free, free. And if you want some Amazon stuff, like for instance, let's say you just need to know, I've got an Amazon button on here too. If you want to look at, well, that was the Thrive one. Don't pay any attention to that. Right here. Here's Maria Emmerich's book right there. Ketogenic Cleanse. That's the one that I recommend the most. If somebody is like, oh, Joan, I'm so glad. You're welcome. Did you make the, Terry made the pudding and the lasagna this morning. Terry, you are on it, girl. That's amazing. I finished up a thing of the pudding last night. It's so good. What you don't understand is that Maria is teaching you high protein products, high protein recipes, I should say. And when I talk to you about how to eat high protein, that's what Maria teaches, and it serves you so well, especially us at our age. I'm 60. We need to have good protein for stability and strength and to stabilize our blood sugars, blah, blah, blah. But this cookbook right here, the 30-day ketogenic cleanse, let's see how much it is today through that button. It is. Some of you want meal plans, full of meal plans at the front. Some of you want, it's $10.25 right now through my Amazon link. You could search it on Amazon by yourself to see if you can find that price. I don't know. I don't remember who I connected to, but for whatever reason, through my button right now, it's $10.25. That's obnoxiously ridiculous. Spiral bound, it would be $39. So anyway, but my point being that she like, I think the chocolate pudding is in there. I think the breakfast chili is in there with chorizo. It's so good. It's dairy free. It's so like creative, and like her meal plans and her ingredient trade outs. Like, you guys, she's done this for 30 years. Like, she really knows her stuff, right? Cindy, it is not. Where do you live again, Cindy? It can't be. I just looked it up this morning. I announced it to the world, Cindy. Did they literally do that? She's saying that the glucose product is out until the 8th. So did they change dates on me? I'll have to look. Thank you for letting me know, Cindy. I appreciate you. You made the slow cooker brownies last week. Love the delicious recipes. They're amazing. I don't create them. I'm not the creator. I'm just the doer. I'm just the one who tests them out because, somebody's got to take one for the team. Yeah, such good recipes. I do not suffer at all. So, all right. I will look that up, Cindy, and I will double check and make sure that I get proper information out to everybody. In the meantime, ask me questions. Let me know what you need. And I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's the beginning of a really good week, you guys. Fall is upon us. So let's enjoy the fall weather together. All right. Have a great day. See you later.